Well, hello, the EmTech team from around the world. We're clearly not working in, the same offices here today, but we're really excited because we have an opportunity to do the same presentations that we love to do, but in a live way. So, how is everybody doing today? I love, all of the different places you guys are from.
Yeah, it's beautiful here in New York today.
Hoping to catch a glimpse at the Queen.
Full of sushi here in Tokyo.
We know that we love using Microsoft Teams in order to host different types of professional learning and events that we have. But we also know that sometimes we need to do even more that Teams can do, where we have only 250 participants, we have a fully interactive chat. But what if we want to go bigger? What if we want to do things for more people, or we want to have a little bit more control over the interactivity? So what we're going to get to do today is have our own event in Microsoft Teams Live, which has a lot of great features, right, Christine?
Right, Trish. So if you are brand new to live events open it wide open for you to present to larger audiences. In fact, you can have up to 1,000 people inside a live event, and you can have multiple presenters as well as multiple organizers. And I believe Ben and Michael are going to talk to you a little bit more about the different roles inside of a Teams live event. But imagine the possibilities, whether you're hosting your school open house or a school celebration or an event for parent night. There are so many ways to use Teams live events.
But as Christine was saying, it does take a team with the live event. It's not just a single, like we're used to having a meeting with our students. You will need, you might have multiple presenters, so that's okay. You can have a couple of those, but you also probably need a couple of producers as well running the back side of it, just so that, you can run the chat and so that chat isn't live, so that there'll be someone that's accessing that chat and being able to push what you want live and what not live. So you'll need a couple of producers doing that. And of course, you're going to need your participants as well. So there's a few things that are going on that are a little bit different than a normal Teams meeting.
Yeah, so we're going to bring you those three perspectives coming up next. We're going to dive into actually using live video. Christine's going to share with us how to create those links and then how the producer side of it works with her and Michael. Trish is going to then show us how the presenting part of it works. Then I'm going to take you into the participant view. And so you'll get a view of each one of those little snapshots and kind of the different interfaces, so that then you can see how Teams Live works overall together. So without further ado, I think we're going to get started.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
Let's take a closer look at how we schedule a live event inside of Microsoft Teams. So here I am in the calendar app of Microsoft Teams, and I'm simply going to click on the drop down next to New Meeting up here in the top right corner, and I'll select Live Event. I have to give my live event a title, and I will go ahead and set the start date and end date and time for this event. Notice that underneath I can provide details about this event for my fellow organizers, producers, and presenters. I am the producer of this event because I am the organizer of this event. Notice that here I can go ahead and invite fellow presenters. I'm going to invite my teammates, Trish Rofi and Michael Pazik, as presenters. Michael is actually going to join me as a producer for this particular live event. So I'm going to click the drop down next to presenter for Michael and change that to producer. I'm ready to click next. We would recommend for school events where we have parent community joining us, create this with the permissions of public so that no sign-in with an Office 365 account is required. Now I'm going to scroll down to determine how I'll produce my live event. Notice that I can determine if I want the recording available to producers and presenters, the recording available to attendees. I can set closed captions, and I can set it to the spoken language for, in this case, English. But notice that I can also select up to 6 languages to have the captions translated into. This is great if you have a large ELL community. I can include the attendee engagement report. That's data for myself as the organizer. And if I'd like to have a Q&A where participants or attendees can ask moderated questions, I would simply check this box. Now I'm ready to click Schedule. Now, Trish and Michael, as presenter and co-producer, they're automatically going to get an email invitation with the meeting link. My attendees, so my audience, I would actually share the invite attendees, the get attendee link. So Ben on the EmTech team is going to be our attendee for this feature. So I'm going to click get attendee link, and I'm simply going to email this link to Ben. When I'm ready to join the live event as the producer, I can simply click join. If this event box is closed, I would simply find the event in my calendar in Teams, double click on the event, and again click join. Here I can adjust my camera and I can turn on my microphone. And when I'm ready, I'm simply going to click join now to join the event as the producer. And I can see that I've already been joined by my presenter, Trish, and my co-producer, Michael. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to take a moment to just show you around the producer view of Microsoft Teams live events. So you're going to notice that it looks quite different from a typical Teams meeting. Here at the very bottom, I have my presenters and producer view. And it is from this view that I'm going to launch a presenter or their shared materials into the queue. The queue is basically a waiting space where I can line up my presenter and their content and get it ready to go live. Notice that I have 2 views. I have the full view where I can add video content, and I'm going to send Trish up to the queue. And notice that I also have this view where I have content to the left, and I can simply click on the add content from below, and I can add Trish's desktop. And so now I can see the video feed of Trish on the right, and we can see Trish's PowerPoint slides as her content. Once we're ready to go live, I would simply click Send Live. All right.
So now I'm a live presenter. This is kind of cool. So you guys run the show for me. I have my slides. I can fully click on them. I can decide what it is I'm showing. I can talk to my audience. And you even can control whether my video, in addition to my PowerPoint, is shown on the screens to our presenters or to our participants.
All right, so we're ready to send Trish live. So we are going to go ahead and click Start. You're going to get a warning message. Are you sure you want to start the live event now? Once you've started the live event, you cannot stop and restart. Also, as the producer, keep in mind that what you're seeing in the queue and what you're seeing in the live event, there's about a 10 to 20 second delay. I'm going to go ahead and click Continue. And this is going to start the live event. And now Trish is live to our audience. And we can see up top here, next to the name of the demo live event, that we have 1 attendee. Now let's open up the Q&A field to see if the attendee is posting any questions.
So I can keep talking as the presenter, and what's great is I can see the Q&A field as well. I can see the chat for myself and Michael and Christine if we need to be able to talk to things as presenters and producers. The Q&A is great because I will equally be able to see and control whether there's a new chat posted, a new question posted. Do we want it published for everyone to see? Are we going to dismiss it? And that's Michael's role. He's going to be in there making sure that our chat functions well while Christine is being able to show what's live or not.
All right, this is what it's going to look like as a presenter inside of the Teams live event. Now, I'm very lucky because it's actually Christine and Michael who are my producers. They actually run the show. I'm in an experience that looks very similar to Teams because I'm just a presenter. Now, what's fantastic is I can see that little red square around me, meaning my video is also live, in addition to I am sharing my screen with a PowerPoint presentation. So I'll stop sharing for a moment just because we're going to show what it looks like to be able to share. So when I'm in here, I can see we are officially live. I can choose to have my camera on or off like I'm used to doing inside of a team, as well as I can see the conversation. Now with the conversation, when it looks like meeting chat, the meeting chat is actually, here we go. The meeting chat is actually just between myself and Christine and Michael. So they could be like, slow down, Trish, because that's what they need me to do, or there's questions that they don't have the answer to in the chat. They need some of those different support. That's there. No one else can see the chat but our team of three. When I show now the Q&A, that's a little bit different. This is where I'm going to be able to see actual participant questions. Under new, I can see that Ben has posted a couple of questions. Now we would determine before the presentation whose role is what. So in our particular case, Christine, she's the one pushing video and screens around to our guests. Michael, we have put him in charge as a producer of looking at the questions in the Q&A. So he's going to choose to leave and notice it says private reply. That means it's only going to go to Ben. And then of course he can choose to publish or dismiss that. So if you feel like it is a very important question that everyone could learn from along with the reply, then you're going to want to hit publish. If it's just one of those little things like how does my question get featured, I can be like, we do that for you. Of course I can do this. I will show you. So I'm going to send him this little reply. I'm going to show you how to be able to do this, and I'm going to publish it so that it can go in there. So there's no new questions, but in here I'm going to see those published things that I have done. Okay, dismissed, we can see the one that I got rid of there before. So it's so simple. The last thing I can do is share tray. This sharing works very similarly, just like we're used to in our actual Microsoft Teams meetings. So I can choose to share a screen, or of course, I can even just share directly a window such as my PowerPoint. I'm going to click that, and of course, it's going to kind of minimize everything down. Let me just go back to so I can see everything here. So now I can see I still have my Teams open on one screen. I still have my presentation open on another screen, and I'm able to be the presenter. And I just keep going with the flow until my producers end the event, and then of course, the event will be ended and no one is seeing anything anymore. If I click hang up, it means I leave the team event. So don't hit that. You don't want to use that as a presenter. You just want to be able to share your slides and your video. So that's it. I am done showing you what to do as a presenter, and we're going to keep now going for what this looks like as a participant.
Participants will receive a link to the live event, same as they would for a regular Teams meeting. Again, this can be sent in email as you see here. It could be posted in Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams Classroom. Anywhere that you normally post your links or that you can share these links, you can share the live links as well. So just remember that it is a link for anyone to join, which is one of the great things. The parents can join without signing in, and all you need is a web browser. But just remember that when you're posting this link. But yeah, the participants access that link the same way they would, and then you can either continue in the web right here with watch on the web instead, or I can open my Microsoft Teams. Just opening on another screen here. So what happens is I am put into the lobby where I can wait, and you'll notice it says we can start in 15 minutes, and it's telling me to wait for the live event to start. All right, so now I've been in this wonderful live event for a while now,
All
and I'm going to show
right.
you some of the interfaces in the live event. So, first of all, this
Yeah, it's
is
good.
our view screen, and I'm just going to mute them so that if we hear any chatting. So this is my view screen. I notice I don't have a ton of interaction with it. I can rewind and I can change the point at which I'm listening to. Just know that if I do need to go live again at any time, I can pause or play. There's a little button here to go live at any moment. I can go back to the live stream and it'll take me to the very end. Sorry. All right, now that I'm live again, let's go over a couple things. So we have our Q&A area here. Please note, I'm not calling it a chat. I'm purposefully referring to it as a Q&A area because this is where participants can see the featured questions. Features is a section that everybody sees. So this is where the moderator will choose the content that goes in here. I can ask a question, but when I click this button down here, you'll see it takes me to my questions section. Before we go there, I also have a way to organize the different questions that have been posted, the most liked or the most recent. And I also have the ability to like questions myself. All right, so when I click ask a question, it's going to take me to the my questions section. This is where participants like myself are able to ask as many questions as they want. However, the moderator can choose which questions to make public. So if you notice this, the moderator made this question public, and I can see it here on the featured section. But the moderator has not made this one public, which means you can't see the how does my question get featured. Only I can. Other participants will not be able to. So just remember that the moderator will choose what's posted publicly and may choose to respond to you privately. To ask a question down here, we have a couple options. First, it prompts you to type in your name. So I did have to type in my name there, but you can always post as an anonymous user as well. Your question can be asked directly in this box here. Just remember that moderators will post it to the featured section for everybody to see as they choose. I think that's about it. One more thing, one last thing. Participants themselves have the ability to turn on the closed captions or subtitles to help them with what's being said, and they can see the subtitles below. Right now, it's only me talking so that we didn't have interference in the background. But if I turned this on while Trish was presenting, I would see little subtitles down below of exactly what she is presenting. All right, and that's all we have, and that's the participant view. I hope you enjoy using Teams Live, and we'll go back for some more information.
All right, as we're wrapping up, just a few last things to show you. If I wanted to interrupt Trish, let's say that Michael, who's moderating our chat, or our Q&A, I should say, if I wanted to send him live, I'm just going to switch to a single source view in the queue, and I would select Michael. He's going to replace Trish in the queue, and I would go ahead and send Michael live. Michael would unmute his mic on Teams, and he could go ahead and share the question from the Q&A.
And then that's what I would do. I would look at and say, Trish, there's a question, a great question from the Q&A, and then I would pose my question for Trish, and I'd say, okay, and back to you, Trish, to see if you can answer that question.
At that point, as the producer, I would go ahead and click on Trish to send her up to the queue. And again, if Trish is sharing content, I would change the view so that I can add content from below and add Trish's desktop and hit send live. And that will replace Michael. And now Trish is live once again. Now, the last few reminders we have for you is that the presenter and the producers behind the scenes, it's really important that when you are not supposed to be speaking, mute your microphones, because if you have your microphones on, your attendees are going to be able to hear everything that is happening behind the scenes.
Love it. That's why it's so great we have that chat, right, Christine? So we have a chat between the three of us, so we don't have to really worry about talking to each other, but I do love that. Anybody can talk at any point, and even if you don't want to, Michael could just start talking to me right now, even though he doesn't have that live button. You don't necessarily have to promote his video, so you could say something to me, Michael.
Yeah, I could say, oh, Trish, there's a great question. Trish, can you answer this one for us?
I sure can. Let me try that. So then you can sort of see we're still hearing everything. It's still part of it. And just a nice way to still have multiple people interacting. So good luck with your team events. now we can wrap this up, right, Christine?
Okay, let me show you how to wrap things up. Remember that you are not going to click leave here at the top. You want to make sure you end this live event. And I'm simply going to come down to the bottom here and click the end button. It's going to ask me to confirm. I'm going to select end live event. And this is going to officially end the live event for our attendees. You can make sure that it says ended up here in the top, and now you are ready to leave. Notice that Teams takes me back into the live event chat that I was having privately with my fellow producer and presenter. If I wish to access the recording, as well as the transcript for this live event, I'm simply going to click on calendar and double click to open the live event. And if I scroll down, I will see the live event resources. I can see that I can download the recording, I can download the Q&A report, I can download the attendee engagement report, and I can get that recording for my attendees, including a transcript. Thank you again for joining the EmTech team on our tour of live events in Microsoft Teams. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the EmTech team.